You will figure
Hey,
it out.
Fatfish heads! It's time for another edition of the hottest new podcast on all platforms, Fatfish. Sit back and strap yourself in for the wildest ride on the open seas. Now, flap your fins for the fabulous Fatfish brothers, Eric Fish Snyder and Brad Grunny Grunberg, a.k.a. Snacks.
Hello there. Number 57, baby. Here we are. We had some technical difficulties with our guest, Tony O, but we're bringing him back next week, right?
Lucky him. What a break. Interesting. That happens, sometimes our devices don't connect, and we'll get him back on next week. But I get a chance to chop it up and bullshit with you. We got a lot to talk about. First thing is, you take your dad for a shave last week, and it looks like you never went. What happened to you?
Oh, I didn't get a shave because my dad is priority. And I can't, after the same guy shaves me, shaves my dad. His name is Alex. He's the best, Alex E. And so I just wanted my dad to have a great day. He had a haircut and a shave, and I took him home. So I'll get there. Don't worry. I got to get you one, Mr. Military Shower, 5 minutes. The shave takes a little bit more than 5 minutes because you relax, you lay back in the chair, they massage your face, they massage your hands. It's a lot of fun. Very relaxing for a man. Are you a man?
I'm a man, but I just look at that shadow of yours you got, and it's just like you got a little. You look like a cat, like a cat that's 15 years old. You got you got the salt and pepper. You have Richard Gere's top of your hair on your face. It looks like right now. I don't get it. Maybe I'll audition for a role he's going to do. Who knows?
How about Grizzly Adams? Do I look like him?
Yeah, maybe Grizzly Adamstein, but it's just. I don't know. Anyways, weather. I gotta. Okay, rest in peace, the Golden State Warriors. I think I want your opinion on this. I'll make it short and sweet. Is this the end of the Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Steph Curry run?
I don't think so. I think that everybody has a bad season. Everybody has a bad day. Come on, they were like 8 out of 9 games. Steve Kerr did everything he could. The bounces didn't go their way. I have no excuses. They were beat by better teams, and this is not their year. I don't think it's over. I think they at least have one more. Listen, think about this. They got Draymond for 3 more years. They'll probably trade him away and get something. Yeah. But, hey, basketball's a funny game. And did you hear about the Toronto Rafter who got suspended for life for gambling on his games, his performances? Is that crazy?
Yeah, John Tate Porter is a lifetime ban. The guy's a moron. He bet. The one thing you could absolutely control is over-unders. For example, if I was to go to a sports book and said over-under, Brad's going to 4 drive-thrus today, I would say over. Then Brad finds it out the money that's being bet on that and does it absolutely under and gets in cahoots with the sports book. That's what he did with the bookies. It was some kind of a 12 rebound performance. He says, I'm not getting 12, I'm getting 11. And he banks 500,000. That scares me because basketball is really privy to this type of heresy. And, it's a lifetime gamble and a lifetime thing. And look, Brad, none of us watch sports if it's scripted. None of us.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I mean, the only thing I like that's unscripted is you and Curb Your Enthusiasm. But if a sport is scripted like wrestling, why would you watch? Why would you watch if you knew, hey, Brad, tomorrow night the Golden State Warriors are going to win 112-110 over Phoenix, and Draymond's going to have 12 points, 13 rebounds. Steph goes for 30.
Yeah. No, people don't want to know that. What was that thing you did with your hand there? What was that?
It's the don't jerk me off syndrome. I'd rather talk about this.
Yeah.
We are seeing, and we talked about this last week a little bit. we'll get a little sports in on the week of the biggest week in the NFL in the offseason. The NFL draft is coming up next Thursday. Caitlin Clark is blowing up. I loved
Oh,
her on SN. Did you see her on SNL?
yeah, she's great.
Yeah, she's great. This is great. I liked when you see a sport. We're living through this. We lived through the metamorphosis of the NBA when it was on tape delay, and here comes Magic and Bird and Michael Jordan. Boom. Caitlin Clark just signed a $20 million endorsement deal with Nike this morning.
Right.
How great is that for women's basketball?
It's great for women's basketball. It's great for women in general. It's great. She signed her contract for 72,000 with Indianapolis, but got the 20 mil from Nike. It's a pretty good deal, baby. And by the way, there's more to come. I think State Farm. I think there's some others. She's great. She's great. You don't see any tattoos on her. She's straight laced. She's clean. She does her job. She doesn't get into trouble. And I just love it. I love women. I love women basketball. I love women's sports. This Olympics is going to be fantastic. Steve Kerr is off to coach our Olympic basketball team. I smell gold, baby. I smell gold. So it's going to be great. I think you like the Olympics, by the way?
I love it. I
Yeah.
absolutely love. I love the pomp and circumstance. I love that we can get all the. You sent me a text yesterday. The world's gone mad, and this is when the world doesn't go mad. Every single country, even ones that we may be enemies with right now, they
Yeah.
send teams, and that's what it should be. They're all competing. Go back to Caitlin Clark. I mean, do you think she's sexy?
Yeah. She's a beautiful woman. She has a great smile. I think she might be looking for a guy like me.
Don't you
Maybe
think
not.
she'd be? Well,
Maybe not. Maybe not.
everyone's looking for a guy like you. Everyone. You're a good catch because you're never letting them pick up a dinner bill. I know that. I know the kind of
Okay,
generosity
let
you
me
are.
ask you something. First of all, we got to do one thing. We got to come up with some new material. I love the fast food, the fat jokes, all that stuff. But no, I'm serious. I love them. But we now have to come up with some new material for you. You are a funny guy. I rubbed off on you. We got to go to another, like maybe women or living with my parents or some
I don't care
other
about
bit.
living with your parents. We have always known you're a Peter Pan. So, anyways, the bottom line is Caitlin Clark.
Let me
All
talk to
right.
Sean
Don't you
White,
think she'd
head of
be?
the writing
I want to
department.
go to Caitlin
Start a new
Clark. She's
bit
the
for
number
this
one
guy,
thing they're
would you?
talking
Start
about.
a new bit.
Don't you think that she'd be sexier with tattoos? Be great.
No. I can't
What's wrong with
stand
tattoos?
I don't like tattoos. Men are
You know
ass.
what? No, you know what, Brad? We got to get away from the food. You said you need new material.
I didn't say that. I said we got to get you new bits about me. I want people
Nah, there's
laughing.
no new bits about
Yeah, there
you.
are new bits. You just don't know comedy.
What new bits are there about
Go
you?
back to the bar and mix a drink, you putz. Let me
I'm a
tell you
putz.
something.
I am a putz. But
You are.
anyways, no, it's not about me. It's about we're watching the metamorphosis that league's been around for 27 years,
Yeah.
and the NBA endorses it. And now I think it's gonna it's gonna blow up because of one player. No, there's a lot of great players, and
Yeah.
I think women's basketball at the collegiate level is very competitive. You don't have John K. Porter sitting there and betting again. You know how horrible that is. You make a great point. What a horrible look that is. That you can go out there and basically by yourself, have a big influence on a game.
It's a slippery slope. You know why? Because now, listen, this is how it goes. Now gambling is legal in most states, right? They
Mhm.
always shunned it. Oh, gambling, no, not in sports, not in Vegas, right? Now cannabis is legal. You know what's next? That should be legal. Prostitution. It's going to happen. It's going to be regulated and the government will get their cut. And that'll make me very happy.
Yeah.
Is that-
Imagine. Can you imagine you writing that off on your taxes as a 1040 thing?
I did that at the
Brad, how many
Tropicana.
prostitutes did you go to this year? What did you spend? Well, there's a deduction fund over anything over $5,600. Hey, Brad, how much you get back last year?
Well,
10 grand?
well, what about Uncle Impy Trumpy? He could take off a lot for Stormy
Oh,
Daniels,
good.
right? Right?
Jesus.
Right?
You know what? More people have gone to prostitutes of even
Right.
people you like than
Yeah.
in their lives and stuff like that.
Here's a scenario. Tell me, you're smarter than me. You date a girl, right? You meet her, you date her, you go out with her, you have a great time, take her to dinner, movie, whatever. You guys, you know, do the nasty at the end of the evening, and then she says to you, "Fish, I can't pay my car payment. Can I borrow $500?" And then you give her $500, you never get it back. Hello? What is that called? So really, you know, I like prostitutes because you know what it is? It's the truth. It's they come over, they provide a service, and then they leave. I remember with Heidi Fleiss, everybody said, "Oh, it's the greatest business there is because you pay them to leave." Charlie Sheen said that. You know, unfortunately, Charlie Sheen wrote a check. Who writes a check to a prostitute? I don't know. Oh, me? No, no, I never have. I never have. No, listen, sex in other countries, it's like asking you, like, what did you have for lunch? Here, it's like, oh God, you were with a prostitute. Oh, you went to a strip club and got a lap dance. Ooh, ooh, that's scary. Ooh, enough with the bullshit. All the people, the religious groups, all that stuff, they all did it. They all do it. They just don't talk about it. Right, Fish?
I no, I'm in total
Okay.
agreement with you. I mean, we are so taboo about talking about sex. In Europe right now, we can't. This is a word we can't use on podcast. One word, but it's a C word with a
Yeah.
U and an N and a T. But that's a part of the English vernacular. They use that in everyday language. And also, I'll give you an example. There was a show you and I watched as a kid called Benny Hill. Remember that?
Oh,
They had
great.
boobs coming out, and
Yeah. Yeah.
it's I don't understand that we're so anal retentive over sexual stuff in commercials
Yeah.
and talking about it when it's really something that we all get hormones. 15 or 16 years old, you all want to, girls too, girls, you want to get laid at 15 and 16 too. We should be able to talk about it.
Yeah. I had a kid I picked up from Beverly High School the other day, and I took him home, and oh my God, he knew more about sex than me. He starts, you know, using the F bomb, all this stuff. I'm like, you talk, when did you start learning all about all this stuff? And he looked at me like I was crazy. I go, 11 years old, man, 10, 11. Me and my buddies, we were watching porns. And I go, huh? Why did I hang out with you when I was 11? You know, I mean, it's crazy. The kids know much more than you think they do, right? Come
Well,
on now.
why? Because when we were 11 and 12 years old, we didn't have a phone that you can just go to
Yeah.
TikTok or go on YouTube and watch, someone making out. So they're learning more at a
Right.
quicker level. And I mean, it's a weird dynamic. We had to earn it. You know,
Can I ask you,
I
can I ask you a personal question? You have a great son, Max, incredible guy. Went to the University of Arizona. When did you talk about sex with him? How did it work? What was the dynamic with you and
I will
Vicky and
tell
Max?
you a great story, and I'm going to
Okay,
embarrass a lot of people.
I love it.
We're taking Max home from Max was a great baseball, still is a great, would be a great baseball player. He's 11 years old, and we're in a car. And boy, my wife's gonna kill me. And Max is in the back, and all of a sudden there's an awkward silence. Where do you want to go? Want to go get to eat? Great game. Want to go Dairy Queen, McDonald's? And there's a silence, and he goes, "Dad, what's a blowjob?" And I said, "Ask your mother." And Vicky, my wife, since a school teacher, in a span of 2 seconds, said this: "Well, honey, back in the caveman days, when a caveman had a boo boo on their pee pee, the women had to lick it and blow on it." You
Oh
know.
my God, no!
So Max says, "That's not what I heard. I heard that they suck on it." So
Oh
he
my
knew but the way my wife was brilliant, it was like, oh my God. So they know about it. It's how do
boo
you keep
boo!
them away from it at a young age? You want to get personal? The reason why personal stuff is I may or may not have gotten a girl pregnant at 16 or 17. So this whole abortion thing, we're going to piss a lot of people off, but we're going to get a lot of comments.
Yeah,
You know, it's not so much, the right for abortion, but okay. I'm 63 years old. I got a mind of a 12-year-old now. If I'm 16 and get a girl pregnant because I do well in a baseball game, there's a party at Ted Kozel's house, right? And there's a keg. And like like any father told their son, like your dad, Jerry, told you and your brother, a stiff dick has no conscience, right? People get laid when they're 16 years old. I didn't always have a rubber or something like that. And a girl gets pregnant or what have you, and you get an abortion. Okay. So I want to keep Max away from that because the hormones and these guys know. I never knew what a blowjob was at 11 years old. Did you?
yeah. I did. But here's the thing.
What was his name that you gave it to?
You know,
Oh, we're
the
going to
guy.
go crazy. This is going to be
Oh
a big
God.
seller, this show.
We're gonna get so many emails. Thanks, Fish. But
Yeah.
here's my story about getting a girl pregnant. So I really liked this girl in college, and over the summer we were writing letters to each other. And she says, "Oh, I can't wait to get back to the U and do you." I go, "Yeah." So early on, the semester started. I went over to her apartment. She had like candles around the bathtub. I'm like, hubba, hubba, hubba. So we get it on, and oh man, best body ever. And I'm like, I mean, I have to say, I popped a chubby walking in her apartment. So we're having fun, and I had the condoms, but it was so fucking good. I had to go back for seconds. Okay, it's kind of like let's use a food analogy. Okay, I went
No,
back to the buffet to
never.
get some more,
Never.
some more fish, if you know what I mean.
Oh,
See
boy.
how that played in. So I thought, hey, I'll pull out, and I don't need another condom. All of a sudden, it ends. I give her a kiss. I leave. 4 weeks later, she says, "I missed my period." Uh-oh. So here's the thing. There's some guys who run away. Oh, it wasn't me. You're a this, you're a that. And I said to her, because this is what my parents taught me, I go, if we have the pregnancy test and it's mine, I will take full responsibility. Because you know why? I was there. Okay. And I think we're too young to have a child. I was 20, she was 19. I said, I think we're too young, but guess who has the final call? Oh, by the way, her name was Felony too. She had the last call, and then I was just praying to God, very spiritual, not religious, and every day I just said, please God, let the dam break, let the dam break. That was our code. I go, call me when the dam breaks. And then I think it was 10 weeks later, the dam broke. I was so happy because I was too young to have a child. And then I've never had sex without a condom since that day.
No,
I learned my lesson. Some of these guys who think, hey, look at me. It doesn't happen to me, man. One won't get by the goalie. I'll just pull out, man. But there's the frosting at the top, the frosting. And these guys, wake the fuck up, man. One could get by the goalie very, very easily.
It's a
Schmuck.
triplet. It's a
Yeah.
triplet. So that means you haven't, let me see, you've always had sex with the condom, which means you haven't had sex in about 12 years. So
12
condom
years.
sales
No,
have
no,
gone
that was the
down.
last time I had sex was when I got felony almost pregnant. It's been about let's see, I'm 38.
See,
So
you're 38 years old. Yeah,
20
one
years
leg is
ago.
38. Yeah. But Brad, the whole thing about abortion is, and there's two sides of it. And I
Right.
hear the religious right side. I hear everything. It's going to be a big, big topic going into the election in 6 months from now. But I'm just saying, for the younger people out there, I'm sticking up for our 18-year demographic. It's just normal to have hormones when you're 15 or 16.
Yeah, of course.
And if you're at a party and you're drunk and you don't think about stuff, and like you said, it might happen. You shouldn't be penalized for it. Yes, it's a life. But if you have a chance to take, I don't want to piss anybody off, but do you really want would you want me at 16 or 17 years old to be a father? Are you nuts? The kid at 4 years old is going to be my dad.
Yeah.
So, or mom.
But
So,
in certain religions, they want to get pregnant because, like, when I worked at the Tropicana, all the Hispanic girls got pregnant because they thought their lives would get better if they had kids, right? And I remember this one girl walking in and says, "Oh, I'm pregnant again." I go, "Oh, come on, Maria, you can't even pay your bills here. Look, you sit upstairs and get drunk. You have 3 kids with 2 different guys, and your mom ends up raising the children because you're such a fuck up. Oh no, you want me to kill my babies? You want me to kill my babies?" I go, "Maria, I didn't say that. What about a condom? You're so young. You're having all these kids. You can't even listen. Are you going to work tonight, or are you going to go upstairs and get drunk because you're so depressed. You have all these kids you can't afford. You're on welfare. That's another thing, right? They can't afford it. That, we pay for the kid. It's just sad because
It's
listen,
just not, yeah, but you can't generalize about one. You're not, hey,
no,
Brad on Fatfish is not generalizing about one specific,
I'm not. No, I'm
right.
saying it happens in
It's
every
just, it's
religion, every ethnicity.
every ethnicity and,
I'm just giving you an
there are, go
example.
down to the app, Brad.
Can I give you an example of something I experienced? That's all I'm saying.
Well, I'll
It
just say
happens
one
all the
thing.
time.
Go down to the Appalachians and look at all the toothless white people that have 25 kids and they're all inbreds. I mean, seriously.
Wait a minute. Toothless white people. I like that. Do you have any phone numbers for me? That's my type. You sick fuck.
1-800-OZARK, whatever.
Ozark. Now listen. But I think that every kid who is brought into this world, there's a reason for it. And listen, it's such a polarizing topic. It's just, I've had arguments with people or discussions. I just believe you got to be ready to have a child. That's what I say. The parents,
Absolutely.
I
And
really,
you know what? There's an old saying. Any dick can make a baby, but it takes a man to be a father. You're right. If you're gonna,
right.
exactly what you said was poetic justice when you said to felony, if this kid is mine, I'm gonna take full responsibility. Because I don't think any kid has a chance that doesn't have two parents. It's
I
tough. It's not
agree.
the kid's fault.
No,
You want to give the kid the balance of a father and a mother. And I know that might sound too old school, but it's
right.
probably true. I don't know what the statistics are. Maybe you know better than I do. But I bet you the statistic, if you grow up in a household with a mom and a dad, you probably have a better chance of being better socially and having a chance to be successful. I could be wrong,
Yeah,
but I'm
I'll
just guessing.
give you an example. LeBron James was raised by his mother. Okay. His dad hit the road, right? But then LeBron James became LeBron James, right? The greatest basketball player, you know, the greatest scorer point wise in NBA history. Then the father shows up when he's like 18 years old and he's about to go into the NBA. So it's really up to LeBron to say, hey, where were you the first 18 years of my life? Right. And I think he let his dad back into his life, but that's a tough call. Mothers are unbelievable. Women are unbelievable. They do everything, and I just, I tip
Yeah,
my hat to
don't.
women because they're just amazing. How about these women? I have 6 kids. Like, for instance, I'm watching American Idol, and some of these singers, they're from families. Oh, I have 5 and I have 7 brothers and sisters. Oh my God, raised by one woman. And the father, you can't find him with a search warrant.
Well, that's in every demographic, every single
No,
thing.
no. You
But
don't understand what I'm
I,
saying.
I
I'm
understand what
giving
you're
you an
saying.
example of something I'm seeing.
Yeah,
You're jumping down my throat. It happens in every race, every
thank
color,
you.
every rainbow. I'm just giving you one example.
I
It's
agree.
wonderful that women, are mothers, and they will do anything for their children because they grew inside them and they came out, where. Okay, so that's the only point I'm making.
Well, and yeah, I don't want to misconstrue what you're saying. You're well taken. We talked about this on a previous show. I think if women ran the world, it'd be a much better place.
Yes,
When
yes,
Sigmund Freud wrote the id, which is power, ego, greed, and jealousy, it was the end of mankind because men are the ones that really, adhere to the power, the jealousy, the greed, and the ego, where women are more nurturing. Okay.
yeah.
There's no tougher person on the planet than Margaret Thatcher as the prime minister back in the late 80s, 90s, and Golda Meir and Indira Gandhi. Look at Merkel, what she did in Germany. It's
Raquel Welch.
incredible how many women.
Raquel Welch. Who the fuck is
Well,
Sigmund Freud?
Raquel
Who the
Welch
fuck
was
is Sigmund Freud and what's an id? I didn't do very well in school. You're the
I'm
fucking
educating
smartest
Brad
guy in the
Grumble.
room.
Well, wait a minute.
Who are these
Raquel
fucking
Welch was
people?
great in 1,000,000 years, but BC. That she was the leader. Remember that?
BC.
Remember that loincloth she wore? That was like the first loincloth in like 1969. I don't think any guy ever watched that movie without that. That's the first time they showed a regular movie and everyone thought it was a porno film.
Right. Raquel Welch, what a body.
Oh.
Wow. She was fantastic. Seriously, up until the day she passed away, she was beautiful. A beautiful woman.
Hey,
She's
can I ask
one
you
of
a question? Can I have a personal question?
No, please don't.
Is
Yes,
it
go ahead.
wrong, America? I had a, I had a crush on that. I had
Yeah,
a,
yeah. Let's talk about our crushes. Who was
a
your first?
fantasy. I don't know what it was, but not after like the sixth facelift. But I had a huge like fantasy about Joan Rivers, like when she's in her
What?
40s. I thought
Really?
she was sexy. Yeah, that bravado she had and what she
Yeah.
did,
I
great
like her.
body,
Yeah.
and
A great
she
lady. I met
said,
her. I met her. You
"Did
know
you
who I
met?
like?
Okay, so what kind of person was she? Was
I
she the same person
very
off?"
sweet. Very sweet. When it was different on stage, off stage and on stage. The sad thing was Edgar, her husband, because my buddy James Commissar wrote for her. She had a couple of she did shows in Hollywood at clubs, and my buddy James wrote jokes for her. And I was like, he was like backstage with her, and I was outside with Edgar, and I was trying to make small talk. Man, was he depressed? He was such a depressed guy. He was so sad. And he was married to Joan Rivers, the legend Joan Rivers. My crush is remember Elkie Summer? Remember her?
Oh,
Okay, Susan
you win.
Anton. I'm gonna give you no. I'm gonna who? Who was my favorite? Oh, what was her name? She went on the Tonight Show all the time, and sadly, she was swimming in the ocean and she passed. Oh, beautiful. Johnny Carson's favorite, blonde. She.
Hmm.
Oh God, I forgot her
Yeah,
name.
you got
Oh my
that.
God, I
She
have
went in
more.
the ocean and swam. I know.
You know,
Wow,
she was in Mexico. She was swimming in the ocean and she drowned.
that's
A unbelievable looking woman. She was always on the Tonight Show, always on like Hollywood Squares. Here, I'll look her up.
yeah.
You keep talking. You're good
Yeah,
at
you
that.
Google it. Well, like I said, we talked about this in 1970s. I had in my bedroom, I had a pennant of the Raiders. Then I
Uh-huh.
had a pennant of not a pennant, but a poster of John Travolta in Saturday Night Fever with the famous this, and then Farrah Fawcett, the long one, where
Oh, that's
she's in a
another
red
one. Yeah,
bikini, she's
yes,
holding her
yes.
head up like this.
Right, right.
Um, and I had a crush on Farrah Fawcett. I had a
Oh,
crush on Pam Grier. Remember the old Pam Grier
oh,
films?
Pam Grier,
Sexy. I
yes.
mean, I think Jackie Brown was a Quentin Tarantino tribute to her because she was an older woman by then, but man, was she sexy back in the day.
Carol
And
Wayne. Carol Wayne.
Carol
That's
Wayne,
my girl.
great
Oh my God.
eyes.
I was a boob man. I still am. Oh my God, did she have a rack? But I think it was real. Man, was that
Oh,
nice. She
yeah.
had a rack. Oh, Carol Wayne, I miss you. I had so many days in my room. My mom would go, dinner time. Go, Mom, I'm a little busy. I'll be out in a few minutes. And the door would be locked. Why you lock the door? Mom, I'm jerking off. I'm going to tell
No.
you a story. I'm going to tell you a story that's
Wait,
funny.
wait. Let me preface this.
Okay.
I hate this is going back to old school. You say get up to sing.
Okay. Okay.
That I could just hear your dad saying, "There's no way this kid misses a meal." Guess what he's doing?
All right, here's a story from okay, so I lived with my parents 11 years. We used to live in another apartment in the valley in Encino on Newcastle, in a condo. And my dad and my mom's room were on one side, and my bedroom was on the other side. So it was the afternoon on a Sunday, and I was bored. So I pulled down my pants and I got my phone and I start to pleasure myself. Okay. And I'm working it and I'm working it and I'm working it. And I left the door open because I could hear my parents come down the hallway and I would just stop. Right. Well, for some reason, I was so into what I was doing. I look to my left and I see my dad watching me. And I look and he says, enjoying yourself. And he looked, he smiled, and he walked on. And of
Good for
course, I
him.
finished the job. So my dad caught me jerking off. Is that embarrassing?
No,
Oh,
no.
all right.
I caught, I caught my dad.
I
He was
know.
getting jerked off. So I mean, oh, the stories. I love I hope I have these memories and can keep these memories forever. Hey, we are Fatfish 57. That is Brad Grunberg. I am Eric Schneider. If you look on our banner on the bottom there, we're on Roku, Podbean. Podbean is our listeners' audience. We'll try and explain if we have a meme. We want to thank Shucks Tavern for allowing me to
Oh,
do this because they're the greatest bar and restaurant run by Josh and Jeremy, Bob and Steve, and the rest of the staff there. And Johnny Cocktails Entertainment. Brad owns a company called Johnny Cocktails Entertainment, which, Brad, talk about I'm going to put you on the spot here, but you had a chance to pitch one of your shows and talk about, if you could talk about who you pitched it with, one, and number two, the experience, because I just heard John Hamm say on an interview that the thing that kills me the most is having to go on audition or pitch something. It's the hardest thing to do.
For me, it's a gift I have, just being who I am. Like since I'm 5 years old, I've been cutting down my friends in class and getting in trouble. But pitching, see, after the strike, we just came out of if people don't know, an actor-writer strike about
Right.
6 months, 4 or 5 months ago, and it ruined the business. The business is dead now because these studios don't know what to buy, and what they're buying now is IP, intellectual property, books. They'll make a movie. They'll make a TV show out of a movie because it already has a fan base. So I got to pitch one of my heroes in comedy, Howie Mandel. So I went to his office Monday this week, and I pitched. He was there, and his place is like his production company is like this building in the valley. It's like a Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. It's unbelievable what he's got in there. I mean, like every trinket, every gadget, everything he's ever done, from Bobby's World to all his memorabilia. Howie Mandel is one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. He is incredible. He came out of his office, met me. I met his manager, Rich, and Kimmy, his development person. And I pitched a comedy show. And they said, oh, my God, we really like this, but somebody has already pitched it, an idea like this. And we're looking for IPs, intellectual property. That's all they're looking for. But to me, it's like going to the gym. Every time I do it, I get better. Like same thing with an audition when I'm, reading for a part as an actor. Even though I don't get the role, I went to the gym. I made my muscles stronger. So that's how I think. I'm not going to sell everyone, but I have a lot of people I'm going to be pitching. And my writing partner, Sean White, a real good partner with talent. Hello. He and I are pitching stuff all over town. We got 3 reality shows. We got a dramedy, The Force. We got, remember I did that. I did the sizzle reel, sizzle chemistry, sizzle it's called, with an actor named Tom Sizemore, who passed away last year, and just the nicest guy and such a great actor. And I went nose to nose with him. So we did this like 2-3 minute sizzle. So I show that as a companion piece with The Force. And then I got Barry and Larry. I got a one camera or a 3 camera sitcom about 2 brothers. I have Wingman, right? I have a new one. Remember the show HBO Taxi Confessions?
Yes.
Great show, right? So I'm a Lyft driver for a long time. I mean, people tell me everything about their lives. And then they get out of the car and I never see them again. We're combining that with another show. I can't say because then somebody will steal my idea. But I have so much stuff. And it's fun. For me, it's fun to go in because when you go in as an actor, it's like you don't know any of the people in the room. And you got to stay focused and in character and know your lines, because these people don't give you anything back. If it's a sitcom, they don't laugh where they should laugh. They just sit there like this. That's all they do. And then the casting director at the end goes, oh, Brad, that was fantastic. God, you nailed it. Are you busy on Monday? That's when filming starts. And I'll go, I'll make myself available. Do you think they ever call me? No. So that's the intimidation. There's this, I want to, I want to teach kids about this business because I've been doing it so long. I've learned so much about walking into a room with the butterflies and, flubbing your lines and not getting the part. Even though you flub your lines, you still might get the part because they like you. They like you as the character. Like if you walked in as a bartender, you probably wouldn't get the part, but you've lived the part. No, I think listen, to be honest with you, did I put you in the great Wingman? Did you play the Spicoli part? You played, Eric Stoltz. That's the part you played.
No,
And
I played a
that
stoner.
was, right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I've never
Sam
acted
was
before. That was
Spicoli.
great. Yeah.
Sam was Spicoli, and you were Eric Stoltz or Anthony Edwards. Remember, those were the guys who walked in All American Burger with him in the movie.
That was a fun scene. That was a lot of fun.
I
That's
think if we get
years
this movie
ago, buddy.
going, this horror
But I
film.
mean, it's the one thing we talk about this all the time, and let me jump in and I'm going to show you a little meme. That's why I have the utmost respect for people like you guys, the John Hams and yous, because it teaches you one thing about auditioning, obviously, and it's rejection, and you're going to get rejected in life,
Yes. Yeah.
whether it's relationship, whether it's, you feel rejection like you're having a great day, and all of a sudden, oh, fuck, my pool pump went out. There's $700. That's a rejection type feeling. Just getting ahead or something. There's so many times you get rejected. Your business is all full of rejection. And unless you're at the top level, Al Pacino and Robert De Niro and Denzel Washington don't feel rejection anymore because they've already made it. Let me see if we can read this. This is the funniest thing I've ever seen. It's a true story. If we can't read it, I'm going to try and reenact it.
You read it. I'm not going to read it.
Okay. Well, see, the lady on the left is Dorothy, and and the guy on the right is Jeff. We can't read it. If you read it, but basically what she did is she filed for divorce after 54 years of marriage because for 10 years he pretended he was deaf. Okay.
Oh, that's funny.
And she learned sign language, and then when she finally exposed him, right, and she said maybe we'll get back together, he said his vision was going bad.
Oh God, that's funny.
Just get out of the relationship, for Christ's sake.
Right.
Hey, this guy right here is a great endorsement for the state. I live in Las Vegas. I want to know if you ever met this guy because I still miss him. There's Rodney Dangerfield in 1979 in Las Vegas, and I don't know if he's promoting what came out. I know Caddyshack came out in 1980, but what an icon for this town. A guy we're going to have on next week. How do you say his name? Tony Appendisato or Appendicitis? What's his name?
Appendicitis. No.
Yeah.
Appendisato. Yes.
Yeah. Who's the manager of Don Rickles?
He was the manager for Frank Sinatra and Don Rickles. And by the way, I did meet Rodney. He was coming out of the Improv. I met him through Harry Basil. Harry Basil is a great comedian, and he owns the Laugh Factory, part owner of the Laugh Factory in Vegas and other places too. I want to tell you the story about auditioning. Let me tell you how I got Curb Your Enthusiasm. Everything since COVID has been self-tape. You don't go, usually you go into a room and you read for the casting director and they film you. But now it's all self-tape. You got to find a self-tape person or tape it yourself, but you want it professionally done. So I go to a place called Self-Tape Service, owned by my buddy Steve Richard Harris. Okay. Great guy. I went one time, we became buddies. So I walk in for the Curb audition and I go like this. Listen to me. I'm going to give you your fucking $50. You're going to play Larry David and I'm going to be fucking Jonas the Roofer guy. And we're going to do it as many times as I want to do it. And I'm going to take the one take that I think I'm going to get the part with. And you're going to shut your fucking mouth and you're going to play Larry David. Did you hear me? Yes, sir. We were in there for like 20 minutes. I was doing it all different kind of ways. We both watched all the takes. I go, it's that one and that one. Boom. Send it in, right? I walked out walked out the door. It's over. That's how you do it on an audition. You forget about it. It's over. It's in the past. You move on. Usually they book you a day before, 2 days before, because it's such a popular show. They can do that. With me, 3 days later, they booked me for 3 weeks. And they had to pay me for 3 weeks. I only worked 3 days. But I had the confidence. It's confidence walking in the room, knowing it's not cockiness. It's confidence going in and saying, this part's going to be mine. You might have the greatest audition ever and not get the part. They might go with somebody else. They might go with a friend or the director's friend who he worked with on another project, or he worked with him or her on another movie. So there's so many variables that work into the equation in getting a part in Hollywood. But I can tell you, I did a lot of commercials when I was younger. Well, I'm 38, so probably a couple of years ago, and 8 times I was on a veil. Let me tell you what a veil is. They look at all these actors and then they break it down to 2 or 3 that become on a veil, meaning one of those 3 are going to get the part. Okay. 8 times in a row, I was on a veil and I didn't get the part. That's depressing. That's depressing. I mean, anybody else would probably leave the business, but I love what I do. And, I mean, it's so long and I'm still rocking and rolling. And I had to meet you. Oy,
The tough business, the
oy, fuck my
tough fucking
life.
business, man.
Yeah.
It's rough and it's
I have
just
a bit going. I have a bit going. Oh, and then I had to meet you. Oh, fuck me. My life. You're the best thing that ever happened to me, buddy, because we reconnected after 30, right? And we were both doing a podcast, and our podcast partners moved on and they doing great stuff. And then you said to me, hey, why don't we do a podcast together? And now we're on 57. And how much fun are we having? That's life, man.
I'm
You
not.
never know.
I know this. My last podcast partner is doing terrific. He was seen on our podcast and doing great. Your last podcast partner is doing terrific.
Yeah.
So here's what needs to do. We need to do. We need to bring somebody else on because then they're going to do something terrific. You know, I guarantee you. Of all the guests we had on, from Pete Koch to Eric Audet to Carlo Imperotto, Rod Martin, Tony Orlando, they're all going to do great. You know what I'm going to do? Right?
How about Carrot Top? Wow.
I'm saying all going to do great things, and we're going to have more. We're going to have more great guests, and this thing's going to expand. But the great thing is not. It's the fun part. It's the chemistry. It's be able to knock you down and you knock me down, and that's the feedback I get. I get better feedback when you and I go at it than sometimes you have a guest on. Every guest we've had on, we had one guy on that was just nuts. PJ something. We can go through a 5-minute thing that showed his ass and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
My buddy
We had a
PJ.
guest on recently. I can't mention names, and I won't. It's indiscreet. I thought the interview was fantastic. The guy was great. All right.
Yeah.
It just, you don't know. Like you said, perfect example. I'll give you an analogy. You
Yeah.
can get the best audition of your life, and you walk out and you call, Brad, I just did an audition. I swear to God, for Blue Bloods, I killed it. Everyone loved it. Let's go get something to eat, man. Or let's go hang out and get a drink. We get it. And then what the fuck happened? I didn't get it. So that's the beauty of this whole thing.
Yeah.
Of
PJ
podcast. You think
PJ Marks was his name. He'd never done a podcast before. He was in the movie Meatballs 4 with me. He was
I could see.
water ski. He was the water ski like stuntman, and
Right.
Great guy, but real quirky, right? I mean, that was our first one.
Quirky. Quirky. I mean, you go back to that guy. I think it's one of our 14th people we're working on. I'm working on close Boom Boom Mancini, boxer in the 80s.
I love Boom Boom.
I'm working on him. A guy that they're making a movie about on Netflix, Jesse Hearns, Tommy Hitman Hearns' brother. You'll see him put 10,000 comments on our show. I want to go on your show. Then trying to get a hold of him is like trying to get a hold of the Kremlin back from the Cold War. So we have some irons in the fire, but it's fun.
Yeah.
And by the way, Brad, we're not out of here yet, but we're drinking this stuff on the show. Barry and Mark, friends, we had them on the show. It's a wonderful. I've gone through a case. I stuck one of these in my backpack just in case we came. I couldn't stop drinking it. Talk to us about Cloudwater.
Well, Barry and Mark came up with this wonderful brand, cloudwaterbrands.com. That's cloudwaterbrands.com. And these are waters, these are flat waters, sparkling waters, flavored waters, unbelievable stuff. Like you're a bartender, you can mix this into tequila or vodka, but the taste is nothing I've ever drank before. And I was not really a fan of this stuff until I found Cloudwater, and you've got to find it. Amazon has it. Just go to cloudwaterbrands.com and you can find someone somewhere near your home to buy this. You can buy it from them direct on their website. It is the best stuff on the market. It is so good. This is watermelon and unbelievable.
I'm the same one. Watermelon and ginger. It's phenomenal.
So good. And the guys are fantastic. They're really good guys. And they came up with this idea, and it's blowing up. So we're just promoting it. We We like them and we like their water. So please, everybody, go out and get yourself a case, right?
All right.
A
Let me
case.
let me do a shout out just a
Cloudwater.com.
case.
Cloudwaterbrands.com.
Right.
Uh-huh.
I haven't shown this icon in a while. Give me 2 minutes on this and we'll jump.
Yeah, sure.
We just I failed to mention this, but about a month ago, this establishment right here, Shucks Tavern,
Oh,
for
best food.
its 18th year anniversary. And I remember the day that it opened because I was working for a sister store called the Montana Meat Company. And Josh, who's the general manager, has been there since day one. And a lot of the employees, we had Ashley on the show. Remember the bartender?
Yes.
I've been blessed. This is going to sound like a kiss ass. I've been blessed to be in this business to be 44 years on April 30th.
What?
Yeah. I
Really?
mean, 44 years, but that establishment right there is going to be
Man.
the end of my career because I love working there so much. It's such a good place to work. The food's fantastic. Brad's been in there. And I want to say shout out. It's tough. Forget that Josh and his son Jeremy is the assistant general manager. Terrific job. And Bob and Steve, I know owners are great. Whole staff is great. My fellow bartender, I shout them out. I said, Karina, there's Ashley, there's Amanda, there's Nikki, there's Chris, there's Michael, and of course there's the idiot of the group, Fish, Eric.
Get rid of that guy.
He's an
Jesus.
idiot.
How long
But
has
one
he
thing he's
been
going to
there?
say is this:
How long
tough.
has he been there? 18 years?
I've been in the company 18 years. I work for Montana Meat.
18 years too
But
long.
I've been in the company. They've been there 18 years. I've been in the company 14 at Montana, and in 4 years, a little bit 4 years and change here. So I want to say this and get out of it. It's just tough. Any restaurant, Brad, as you know,
Tough.
being around that long, it's a testament to the people that run it, and testament to our great customers. And a lot of them watch the show and listen. And it's great when I hear a customer that this guy Dante walked in. I try to get him on our show. I just hear him. You got to watch this guy, Brad. He's so funny. He makes fun of himself. He's got 3 triple chins, and it's a great. He won't shave to get rid of one chin.
4 triple chins.
4 triple chins. So hey, congratulations, Shucks, for putting up with me, being there for 18 years. It's a testament to being in this business that long.
Yes, and thank you for hiring my best friend, Eric Fischneider, because I don't know where he'd be if it wasn't for Shucks. Look at him. What could this guy do other than bartend? Nothing. Sit home, watch TV all day. No, you're a very smart guy. And I'm telling you, acting. We're going to get you in Slices, the movie Slices, low budget horror film. Great film we're trying to sell right now. I'm going to talk a little bit about it. It's about a guy who lives in a neighborhood. He hates everybody in the neighborhood, everybody. So he kills the pizza delivery guy, and he becomes the pizza delivery guy, and he kills everybody.
Don't say anything. It's I loved it. So yeah, I would like
I'm trying to sell it. You don't even
trying
know
to
what
sell
you're
it.
talking about.
You know what's going to sell it?
Just do me a favor. Stand behind the bar and look stupid.
Wait a minute. Well, I do that. I'll do that tonight at midnight.
You do that very well.
Every night. People walk in and go, "Where's Grunny?" So, anyways, I got a shout out. We'll do a couple shout outs. First of all, we want to give a shout out to Molly's Challenge. Molly Klein passed away.
God, yes.
We had Andrew the father on. We said every time we'll be quick. Teenage bullying, all bullying's got to go away. You're fucked if you do it. You're a stalker. You're a coward. Please quit bullying, especially at the high school. If you're in high school or people watching using their phones, don't do it. Someone said to me, "Well, you pick on Brad." That's not bullying.
It's
we're having fun. I'm not sitting there calling Brad. I'm not calling Brad. Making it look. It's not derogatory. It's called banter. Stop bullying. Real quick. You go after this. I got to get this out because it's on my mind. A big fan of the show. Big fan. His name is Keith Berman. Keith Berman is one of my best friend, Craig Persky, who's going to be reading.
You don't have any friends, you asshole.
Keith Berman is Craig Persky's first cousin.
Are they from Central Casting? Did you hire
No,
them?
wait, hang on. My parents are both in the industry, so I spent like 4 straight Thanksgivings at the Berman's house from like 75 to like 79 in Simi Valley. Nicest family, greatest family on the planet. Keith just found out that he's got cancer and it's pretty serious. And I said, I'm going to shout you out on the show because you always text and you always say, God, you guys make me laugh all the time. So if that's what we're here to put on the planet, you said, what could I do? other than bartend. If that's what I could do along with you, I don't give a shit if this thing ever sold, because if I can make one person happy that's suffering,
Amen.
we did it.
Keith,
And we
you're
love
gonna
you,
be-
Keith.
Keith,
Brad,
Keith, listen
say
to
something
me.
to Keith.
Keith, listen to me very carefully. We're going to get rid of fish. You and I are going to hang out. We're going to start a podcast. Okay. It's going to be called Grunny and Keith, or Keith and Grunny, whatever you want. And you're going to get
That's
healthy.
original.
You're going to live a long life. We're going to say our prayers. Everybody who watches and listens to the show, say a prayer for Keith. He is going to be all right. He's going to beat this. We love you, Keith. Okay. And do me a favor. Help me get rid of this fucking putz. Jesus. This guy, look at him. He thinks he's good looking. Look, he does a tanning bed.
Look at that.
Look at his guns. Those are fake.
I got guns.
Let me see the hair. That has got to be a toupee.
No, it's not. It's real.
It's all stitched in. It's Bosley method.
Every time you do that, you talk about
Bosley method. Okay. But Keith, we love you. And does Keith live in LA, or did you live in?
Keith lives in San Diego with his beautiful wife Michelle, and it's a great family.
Let's do this. When Keith gets healthy, and he's going to do that soon. That's going to happen. Let's go out and have some fun with Keith and celebrate.
Let's get Keith on the show. Keith's got great stories.
I love that. Big
sports fan. He loves the Mets, and he's and a very good career in the Marine Corps. He's
Oh, thank you for your service, Keith.
Yeah,
God bless you.
exactly.
Keith, I'm doing this for you, buddy. I love you.
We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. You got a lot of good. And Craig, it's everything's about family. Family.
Exactly.
You're my family, Brad. I take a bullet for
you. Please stop. Okay.
You take a bullet for me, but it won't do any damage.
I'll take the bullet. I'll step right in front of anybody who talks shit about you every time, Betty. By the way, how's little Farley?
There's a lot of people you're going to start.
How's little Farley? How's little Farley doing?
Doing great. I think I looked on the schedule, and if he's X'd out, it means he's back in. They're shooting Cobra Kai, and I believe in Georgia. But they were talking about. I got to talk to his mom, Nikki. Not a great fan of the Minks family. Thank you for watching and listening. I think they were talking about going to Barcelona to do some stuff. So I'll find out tonight. I'll get back on the next show and say, if that'd be cool if that kid got a chance to go to Barcelona to do some stuff.
Minks is a great actor. I met him. I was reading for ER, and there's this little kid outside with his mother, and he looks exactly like a little Chris Farley, little fat kid. And I was talking to Nikki, and I said, who is this? Oh, that's my son. He's an actor. I go, he's adorable. He was trying to kill bees and step on them. I go, wait a minute, buddy. That's life. You don't do that. You take that bee and you kick it back into the bushes. And he's looking at me like, Mommy, this guy's creepy. And we became friends that day on the ER, right in front of the ER, on the Warner Brothers lot. The ER casting, but it was really great, and he's done so well. Oh my goodness! I mean, Aiden has done great, and his brother and his sister are great. I had sushi with them, and everybody, that whole family is just gold. They're just the best. But
and they're good. They're good customers too, and
they come in. They come in.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting about Nikki is that her son is doing so well in the acting business, making money. But when the minute he's done, he comes back and works in the bar, and the work ethic there is tremendous because, if we had Aiden on the show, everybody, he was show number 20 or 21, if I remember correctly, and you even said to him, Brad, you said on the show, I remember, you said that you got a great acting career, but now you want to be in the restaurant business and be a chef. What a great thing to fall back on.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you have to have side hustles when you're an actor. I mean, especially now, because the business is so different than when I started way back in the day. There's so many other elements to it that you would never think, you think you could get in for any part, but that's not the case now. And one thing that's really great is the diversity now. Thank God there's diversity. That should have happened 150 million years ago. Like when I went for a part, there'd be 4 white guys and an African American, 4 white guys and an Asian guy, 4 white guys and a Latino guy, and always the white guy got it. It's not a white world. It's a rainbow world of different people, different cultures, personalities. And I'll tell you something, I have so many friends that are working there that never worked, and I'm so happy for them.
Oh, could I say one thing about the acting business? I thought that's great.
Yeah, please.
I heard a huge rumor. Now, one of the greatest brands ever is James Bond, right? When we were
Correct.
kids, Sean Connery up
Oh
until
my God.
Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
I heard that Idris. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. Idris Elba might be the next James Bond. Talk about perfect. You see what this
Yeah.
guy
Who is
looks
this?
like?
Yeah, I don't know
Idris
who.
Elba. He's been in a million films before. He's a
Okay.
yeah. And
Is he perfect?
why can't a black guy be James Bond? Why not?
Absolutely.
Be
Oh,
great.
how about a fat James Bond? Me.
Yeah.
Fat guy.
Great. Yeah.
Why do they
Hi.
have to be good
Hi,
looking,
Mike.
slim, and in shape? Why can't they be like me? I can go after the bad guys.
Could you imagine you doing that? The opening,
Oh.
da-da, da-da, da-da. Got a bagel in his mouth and he's running.
No, like at the beginning with the gun,
Yeah.
right. I have a hamburger in my hand, right? I come
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
And then you're running out. There's always that chase scene. You're running after the guy and you stop with the oxygen thing.
I go to the
That'd be
oxygen.
great.
I do fall in love with beautiful women. We
Yeah.
have
God, that'd be
love
great.
scenes. I could have a love scene with a beautiful woman.
You'd be like Jabba the Hutt when Carrie Fisher's on the chain and she's back and
Fat guys have
tongue
sex
hanging out.
too. Fat guys have sex too, people. That would be
Absolutely.
great. That would be a great comedy. I'm serious. I would love to play the next fat guy James Bond.
There you go. See?
Chunky Love Bond. They call me Chunky Love Bond.
Yeah.
You don't like it? Do you like it?
I know. I would call it Shlomo Bonstein, but it'd be great. You know?
Shlomo Bond. Let me call some of the studios. Maybe you'll go.
That is a
pitch it with
great.
me.
That's a great. What do they call it? Not a spiff. What do they call it?
I have an alter ego. I'm Captain Snacks, like Superman, but I'm Captain Snacks, and I come and I save the day. But I don't
give me
run
that
fast.
video. We showed it on one. I don't have it on my art. Maybe I do.
Next week we'll get it.
Yeah, with you and the great, beautiful Lauren Francesca. That's the funniest.
Francesca, yeah, that's how I met
One
her.
of the funniest 2 minutes ever. When I'm not gonna give it away.
No, next week we'll show it. Yeah.
Yeah, and the way you're walking
Captain
with him
Snacks
with the
and
chest.
mini snacks and Captain Snacks.
Get us out of here.
57's in the books. Next week we will have Tony O, Frank Sinatra, and Don Rickles, manager for many years. He's going to tell incredible stories. Do me a favor, all you kids out there, all you people, no bullying. Stop bullying, okay? It's enough already, okay? You hide behind your computers and you say terrible things about people. And Molly Klein is no longer with us because of it, okay? 57 in the books. I love you, Fish. Dave Linden, take us home, baby.
And before we do that, any mock drafts for next week's draft? Any mock draft, Fish21 at
and remember,
email.com, Cloudwater. Wait, I hear something.
Cloudwater.
I hear something. Wait, Brad, I hear Dave Linden.
You've been listening to the Fat Fish Podcast, heard on all your favorite platforms. Until next time.
Nanny! I love you, Nanny.